Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Cilla. Today I'm going to show you how to draft a lapel and a Revere collar. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to begin by copying the basic bodice pattern. This is my front piece. And then next we're going to drop down the neckline of both the front bodies and the back bodies with 1/8 of an inch. So starting from the shoulder, I'm going to mark down from the neckline 1/8 of an inch to center front. And then using my French curve, I'm going to draw the new neckline and then erase the previous neckline. Now we're going to repeat the same process for the back pattern. Next, we're going to create our extension from center front on the waistline. I'm going to mark out 1 inch right along the center front, okay? Next, I'm going to draw a guideline from bust point, making sure it's on a 90-degree angle to center front. So this guideline is our bust level line. Okay, then I'll just continue to draw my front extension from center front, which is 1 inch, and then connect this point together. Next step would be to determine the roll of our collar at the back. So for me, I want a 1 inch roll, so I'm going to extend the shoulder line upward with 1 inch like so. Next, to determine the depth of the center front, that is where you want the overlapping of the lapel to begin from, we're going to come upward from the bust level line 2 inches. You can do 1 inch, whatever you like, but I'm going for 2 inches above the bust level line. Now we're going to connect from this point, passing through this point to intersect with the center front extension. So this line just drawn is the roll line of the lapel, and where this line intersects with the center front extension becomes the break point of the lapel. I'm just going to go ahead and erase that line. Now on the break point on center front, we're going to mark our button placement. Okay. Next step, we're going to fold our pattern paper along the roll line. Make sure you carefully do this. And after, we're going to trace the neckline to the other side of the paper using a tracing wheel. Alright, I'm just going to turn my pattern paper to the other side just to continue the tracing of the neckline. Using my pencil, I'm going to highlight the neckline just traced. So I'm going to be using a broker line to do this. I haven't traced the lapel with my tracing wheel. I'm going to use my pen and highlight with a broken line the neckline we just traced. Then I'm going to take my ruler and draw a line following the neckline from this point, a line that is 1 3/4 inches long. Okay, now I'm going to position my ruler on center front, making sure it's on a 90-degree angle, and then from this point I'm going to draw a horizontal line that is 2 inches long. Then I'm going to connect from this point to the break point with a straight line like so. Now I'm going to mark the midpoint of this line and come out 1/4 of an inch. Using my French curve, I'm going to draw a curved line passing through this point from break point to the tip of my lapel like so. Next, I am going to fold my pattern paper along the roll line like we did previously, and then I'm going to take my tracing wheel to copy the shape of the lapel to the other side of the pattern paper. At this point, I'm going to place a notch here and then make sure I transfer that notch also. Now I'm going to take my curve ruler and alight the shape of the lapel we just copied to this part of the paper. And here guys, we're done with drafting the lapel. So right now I'm going to erase the previous lapel and then erase any lines we will not be using. Now we're going to move over to draft the Revere collar for our lapel. And to do this, first we're going to take the measurement of the neckline, that is the new neckline of the back pattern, and whatever you get, add 1/8 of an inch to that measurement. Now from this point, that is from the tip of the neckline, I'm going to mark in 1/4 of an inch and then connect this point to blend into the neckline. Now I'm going to position my ruler and draw a line from the tip of the shoulder, making sure my ruler touches the curve of the neckline. Now from the tip of the shoulder, I'm going to draw the length of my back neckline. Now from this point, I am going to draw a short line inwards, making sure the line is on a 90-degree angle. The length of this line should be 1/2 of an inch. Now I'm going to mark the midpoint of the back neckline like so, and then using my French curve, I'm going to connect from this point, blending through the midpoint of the back neckline and blending into the front neckline like so. Now I'm going to position my ruler and draw a line that is 2 3/4 inches long. Now we'll draw a line from this point, okay? The line is going to start from this point and the length of the line should be 2 3/4 inches long. Now I'm going to place my ruler on the curve of the back neckline and I'm going to keep on marking 2 3/4 inches. To finish off the collar, I'm going to come in from center front on the lapel and mark 3/4 inch, and then I'm going to draw a line from the notch on the lapel, a line that is 1 3/4 inches long. Now the tip of this line should be directly opposite the 3/4 inch mark I marked in on the center front of the lapel. Okay, so the shape I'm going for is going to be like when you combine these 3 points together, it's going to seem as if you have a right angle triangle in between the collar and the lapel. At this point, I'm not saying this is the way you must create your Revere collar. This is just a guide, me showing you how I arrived on this shape. So I would advise you get creative and decide what you want the shape of your center front of your collar to look like. So right now I'm just going to connect with a curved line from center back of the collar to center front of the collar. And here guys, we're done with drafting the collar. Now I'm going to place my notches, and then I'm going to take a fresh pattern paper and copy the collar. And as I copy, I'm going to transfer all the notches I have on the neckline of my bodice to the collar, so it's going to be easy when, you know, joining the collar to the bodice. And another thing you need to do is to label each part of your collar so you don't confuse yourself when you sewing the piece. And right now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the bodies of this pattern, and as I cut, I'm going to add my seam allowance. And please take note, when you're cutting along the neckline, make sure you cut along the original neckline of the pattern, I mean this point. So as I cut, I am going to add my seam allowance. I'm just adding 1/4 inch seam allowance to the neckline and also to the shoulder seam. And because I'm making this pattern for my half scale dress form, I will not be adding a seam allowance to the armhole of the bodice because we won't be sewing a sleeve. So if you want a sleeve on your pattern, make sure you add your seam allowance on the armhole. And here guys, this is what the pattern look like. Now to cut this pattern, you need to cut the bodice along the grain line. Now I'm going to place my fabric on fold, that is selvage to selvage, and I'm going to place my pattern parallel to the selvage. So we're cutting this along the grain line as I said before, and then I'll go ahead and cut this out. And by the way, when you're cutting your collar piece, you can cut your collar piece along the grain line of your fabric or along the bias grain of your fabric. And also remember to transfer your notches to the fabric. And here, this is the back piece. I cut 2 pieces for the back, and for the front I cut 2 pieces of facing for the front, and of course the front piece is 2 pieces. And for the collar, I cut on fold. You cut your collar on fold, please. And now guys, I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and come back to show you what it looks like. Okay. And here guys, this is what we have after joining the pieces together. My lapel came out beautifully. As you can see, the shape of the collar is so beautiful. I love it. Yeah, so as I said, feel free to experiment with the shape of the lapel and also the center front of the collar. Just feel free to experiment with it, okay? Another point I would like to raise is that make sure that the collar should cover the neckline of your back seam, okay, after sew. Just in case it doesn't, you need to add to the width of the collar. And here is another design. This lapel is much more wider and the center front depth is deeper. The collar is more angled out, as you can see, so feel free to experiment. And guys, I want to use this opportunity to let you know that I have new music out on all digital platforms, so feel free to check out my music, listen to my music, add it to your playlist. I have my music on Amazon, on Apple Music, on Spotify, so feel free to add my music to your playlist. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, remember to like this video, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Seems like I'm asking for too much today, but yes, this is what I do, so your support will be appreciated. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Canon. Thank you. Come and see.